Whisper.
All right, hello everyone. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is we're a fellowship study. We're going Genesis to Revelation, and right now we're in the book of Job, chapter 5. D-Rail is going to take it away.
All right. So, chapter 5. Call out, please. Is there anyone to answer you? And to which of the set-apart ones would you turn? For wrath kills the fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen the fool taking root, but suddenly his home was cursed. His sons are far from safety. They are crushed in the gate, with no one to deliver. 5. The hungry eat up his harvest, taking it even from the thorns, and the snare snaps up their wealth. For evil does not come from the dust, nor does trouble spring from the ground. For man is born for trouble, and the sparks fly upward. 8. But as for me, I would seek El, and I would submit my case to Elohim, who is doing great and unsearchable deeds and innumerable wonders, who has given rain on the earth's face, and is sending waters on the field's face, to set the lowly on high, and those who mourn shall be lifted to safety, thwarting the schemes of the crafty, so that their hands do not work effectively. Verse 13, catching the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of schemers are swept away. By day they encounter darkness, and at noon they grope as in the night. But he saves the needy from the sword of their mouth, from the clutches of the strong. Thus the poor has expectancy, and unrighteousness shuts her mouth. 17, look, blessed is the man whom Eloha does reprove, so does not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he bruises, but he binds up. He smites, but his hands heal. In 6 distresses he delivers you, and in 7 no strikes you. In scarcity of food he shall redeem you from death, and in battle from the power of the sword. 21. When the tongue scourges, you are shielded, and you have no fear when destruction comes. At destruction and at starvation you laugh, and you have no fear of the beasts of the earth. For your covenant is with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. And you shall know that your tent is in peace, and shall visit your tent and not sin. And shall know that your seed are many, and your offspring like the grass of the earth. 26. You shall come to the burial site in ripe old age, like the stacking of grain in its season. Looking, this we have searched out, it is so. Hear it and know for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to say something?
No, Kristen was.
Oh, Kristen?
Kristen, yet?
Yep. I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Wow, this is pretty powerful. This is us now. This is for now, and in the difficult days to come. This is where it's at. All of it summed up. Very, very powerful. I especially like verse 17. Look, blessed is the man whom Eloah does reprove. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. And Sam, you know, he corrects those he loves. He tells us not to harden our hearts, you know, so that he knows our hearts and he can come into our hearts. And this is something that was kind of difficult in the beginning for most, you know, I think discipline from the Father. It starts with, it's all through love, and it starts with that loving correction, pointing out, you know, when we've done wrong. Sometimes it happens right away, sometimes it takes longer, you know, but he lets us know because he loves him, and he's trying to reel us in. He wants us to press into him and to bring us closer, you know. So I'm grateful when he lets me know when I need correction. You know, it didn't start out that way, but it's all a blessing. All this is very, very powerful. I got a lot from this.
Yeah, I believe it's Eliphaz. I have a title where it says that. Yeah. Yeah, Kristen, I highlighted the same verse, actually. I highlighted that. Where is it? Proverbs 27, verse 6. Proverbs 27, verse 6. Wounds from someone who loves are trustworthy, but kisses from an enemy speak volumes. And you probably have a different translation of that. I'm reading the ISV. So I went to this because some people think that Yahuwah is the only one that does the reproving, and he doesn't use men or women. So they kind of say, you know, leave that up to Yahuwah to do. That's not your job. But we're commanded all over Scripture to hold each other accountable, you know, to correct one another, admonish one another, not to, what's the one you always bring up in Torah? Don't suffer your neighbor to sin. So, you know, don't wink at it, don't let it go. And what follows is, it's not just about rebuking and correcting, okay? Because right in the next verse, verse 18 of Job chapter 5, it says, because though he wounds, but then applies bandages. I don't know how your version say it. I like this version. It sounded good. Though he strikes, his hands still heal. It's very important. Although we might come straightforward sometimes, our group, you know, we're straightforward sometimes with certain things. If it's wrong, it will come at it. If it's a gray area and it's an open discussion, we'll say, hey, this is what I believe. I think it's wrong, and it is what it is. But when we're dealing with sin, we're going to come pretty strong. But depending on how the person responds to that is going to depend on whether you get the healing part or whether you get the mercy part. The judging part is hard. That's the harsh part. You got to be able to take it, get wounded, get hurt a little bit. It hurts. But if you stay long enough, if you can take that, you'll be here for when we say, you know what, brother? But guess what? I'm going to help you get over this. Right? But if you wild out on me, as soon as I say, bro, that's wrong, you need to repent. And you're like, oh man, who do you think you are? You're not going to get to the stage where I want to say, brother, but let me love on you. Let me help you out. Let's, you know, I've been through this, or, you know, maybe I haven't been through this. So let's talk about this as a group so we can all help you out with this. That's the healing. That's the bandage part. So yes, Yahuwah can do it without using humans. He can do it by speaking to us directly. He can do it by sending visions and dreams and nightmares. He can do all that and then, you know, do it all himself. But he also uses us, his brothers and sisters. We need each other, and we need to apply this to our lives. So very, very, very good. And yes, we're going to need this in the tribulation time, Kristen. Very good point. I mean, we're going to have nothing but each other. And we need to stick together. And the more we separate, the more vulnerable we become to the lions. So we got to stick together. We got to stick in a pack. And it's not going to be easy. And we see it now. There's not even any tribulation happening, and people leave this group because somebody corrected them on something, for goodness sake. What in the world is going to happen when the whole world is coming after us and wants to destroy us? You going to leave? You going to leave the pack? So that's what I got. Anybody else got anything? There's a lot of verses in here. There's a lot of good stuff.
I also got the that the wicked are not going to prosper, which you can find a lot in the book of Proverbs and Psalms. I think it's from verses. Let's see. Starts after, I think the end of verse 5 is where it starts. It says, the hungry devour their harvest, even when it is guarded by brambles. The thirsty pant after their wealth, but evil does not spring from the soil. That kind of reminded me of the book of Isaiah, where it talks about, you know, they're given into a deserted land, the wicked, that they'll be in a desert land, no water. people are born for trouble. So what I kind of get for that in verse 7 is kind of like we're born into sin. As readily as sparks fly up from a fire. So yeah, I mean that's what I pretty much got from that portion of the chapter. Is like the wicked are not going to prosper. If you stay committed to Yahuwah, he's going to protect you. So that's pretty much it.
Still thinking this all comes from Eliphaz. I don't know.
Yeah, Yahuwah is definitely giving him this. This is not a mortal man thinking of all this.
Bad.
Not that he's bad, but in the last chapter, how Spirit spoke to him. And I'm just wondering the intentions. I can't read this in words, but what are his intentions behind it? Because he says in verse 8, I would seek unto El. I wonder how he's saying this to you. That's just a thought that's coming to my mind. Just wondering,
Real-time observation. Go ahead, Kristen.
Another really good one is verse 20. In scarcity of food, he shall redeem you from death, and in battle from the power of the sword. I take great comfort in that, because we have no idea what lies before us, and sometimes it's a struggle. You want to put all your trust in him and let Yahuwah be your strong tower and just know through every part of your being that everything's going to be okay. We must endure until the end, but it's difficult. I'd be lying if I said I felt 100% all the time, and especially having children and, the things that we may be facing. We know some of what's to come. We don't know all, but you guys know that we've been trying our best to prepare. And this kind of reminds me of, what is it, that story about the guy who was drowning? There was like a building or something.
The flood was coming and the cops came and asked him to leave, and he said no, God will take care of him. And then the flood started rising and the boat came, and then the helicopter, and then at the end he's like, what happened? I thought you were going to come save me. And then he's like, I sent you a car or a boat, a helicopter, and you didn't want any of it.
Yeah. And I know that there are some people who are like very black and white, and they're like, well, I'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine. I don't have to prepare in any way. Yahuwah's going to take care of me. Yahuwah always provides. But Yahuwah does always provide, but it's not always black and white, and just like he told Noah that he had to prepare for 5 months, that's not the only time, and to prepare food and, to seek to protect yourself and your loved ones, and then to allow people to, help set apart ones and to talk about these things, because this is real. This is real and it's necessary. And I feel that that's just like what you said before, Darian, about Yahuwah. He works through men also. It's not just him directly through us. It's through people, set apart ones, working together and helping one another. So.
For me, real quick, I could sum up this whole chapter in a couple of lines. For me, this is do not give up on Yahuwah, because it talks about the trouble and it talks about the evil, but it also towards the end tells you what he's going to do for you. So for me, to sum up this chapter is do not give up on Yahuwah. You're going to go through hard times. Do not give up on Yahuwah, because at the end, he will grant you everything.
He won't give up on you.
He won't give up on you as long as you don't give up on him.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Absolutely. That's great. Amen. All right. Go to chapter 6. I'll read it. Job chapter 6. I don't want to throw you guys off too much. I'll go to the web. Then Job answered, "Oh, that my anguish were weighed and all my calamity laid in the balances. For now it would be heavier than the sand of the seas, therefore have my words been rash. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me, My spirit drinks up their poison. The terrors of Elohim set themselves in array against me. Does the wild donkey bray when he has grass, or does the ox low over his fodder? I want to read this. Does the wild donkey, it's the same, whatever. Can't find a translation that changes it. I got one. A wild donkey is quiet when it has grass to eat. An ox does not make a loud noise when it has food.
Easy English.
I like that. Easy English. Get to the point. Verse 6. Can that which has no flavor be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? Hey, look, they ate eggs. Verse 7. My soul refuses to touch them. They are as loathsome food to me. Oh, that I might have my request, that Elohim would grant the thing that I long for, even that it would please Elohim to crush me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off. Let still be my consolation. Yes, let me exult in pain that doesn't spare, that I have not denied the words of the Holy One, the set apart one. What is my strength that I should wait? What is my end that I should be patient? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh of bronze? Isn't it that I have no help in me? That wisdom is driven quiet from me? To him who is ready to faint, kindness should be shown from his friend, even to him who forsakes the fear of the Almighty. What does that mean? To him who is ready to faint, kindness should be shown from his friend, even to him who forsakes the fear of the Almighty. That's an interesting passage.
I think mine might.
What does yours say?
One should be kind to a fainting friend, comma. But you accuse me without any fear of the Almighty. Basically saying, you're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to comfort me. You're accusing me that I don't fear.
That's verse 14?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yours just totally, I don't know if they worded it. I think it's just worded.
That's very different.
Yeah, mine reads, to him that is afflicted, pity should be shown from his friend, that he forsakes the fear of El Shaddai. And this is why I was questioning Eliphaz. Like, I think Job is getting to the intention behind Eliphaz. It sounds like Job is not finding Eliphaz's words comforting, basically. I think he's saying, you're not showing me, like, he's grieving, and I feel like, I don't know. There's truth in Eliphaz. I don't know how to put it. Like,
There's a time and a place. There's a right time for a specific message, right? There's a right time to say a specific message, and there could be a wrong time. It might be the truth, but it could be the wrong time.
Yeah, like I feel like Eliphaz's words, there's a lot from it, like you guys were saying, but I feel like it's, at this point, Job needs, I don't know, like, magnify his sorrow, like I'm sorry, like, rather than, you gotta trust in you. I don't know how to put it, like, because that sounds off. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying, yeah, it's kind of like,
you're not it's not your conclusion. You're just thinking out loud.
Yeah, I'm trying to process, like, because it sounds like Job is saying, you're not giving me the words of comfort that I need, basically. Like, you're not pitying me. I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure out Eliphaz's intentions, and I feel like Job is bringing them out. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, like the phrase throwing salt on someone's wound is when your friend is hurting, to just attack him with what he's doing wrong. Like, basically what Eliphaz is doing, he's like, this is what you're doing wrong, you need to stop doing this, and you need to stop pitying yourself. And Job is like, man, you're my friend, what the heck, man?
Yeah, like it's like almost like I feel like, okay, if I lost someone and someone, okay, this is going to sound wrong, I'm sure people are going to take this out of context, but just hear me out for a second. So if you lose someone really, really, really close to you, and someone's like, you gotta put your trust in Yahuwah. Like, I know, I do, but when in that sorrow, I need you to mourn with me. I don't know how to put it, like, because it sounds like a shot in the dark saying, you're not trusting in Yahuwah when he's my all in all. Of course I am, but I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm just still questioning Eliphaz.
Yeah, Eliphaz is kind of beating on him. He's kind of like, he's not getting that this isn't the right time to be rebuking him. I don't think he realizes, like, he's kind of like almost attacking Job and being like, just trusting Yahuwah, but like, why are you depressed? Like, he's kind of like almost attacking him. Like, I think that's why Job is responding like this. Why are you accusing your friend not to fear Yahuwah? Like, you're accusing me basically of being a heathen.
Right. Right.
Like,
Those are the thoughts that go
Instead of saying, "Hey man, I'm sorry you're down," and you know what I mean, you empathizing with him, he's getting spiritual on him, and implying that he's not being trustworthy. He's not trusting in Yahuwah.
Yeah, that's what I'm questioning and throwing out there.
It doesn't seem like an encouragement, like, "Hey man, just keep trusting, brother." It's almost coming off like, "Hey man, you're not trusting enough. You gotta." I don't know. Maybe that's what you're thinking about.
That's
okay.
That's
what I think. It's like an attack.
Where was I? Verse 14. I finished 14 already, right? It's almost like that scripture in the Brit Hadashah in the New Testament says, cry with those who are crying and rejoice with those who are rejoicing, type of thing. All right, verse 15. Does anybody want to say anything real quick? No? Okay. Verse 15. My brothers have dealt deceitfully as a brook, as the channel of brooks that pass away, which are black by reason of the ice, in which the snow hides itself. I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
What translation are you reading from?
That's the YHWH right there.
My brethren have dealt deceitfully as a brook, as the streams of brooks they pass away, which are blackish by reason of the ice wherein the snow is hid. So there's a...
What do you have, Doug? 15, 16, and 17.
Yeah. My brothers, you have proved as unreliable as a seasonal brook that overflows its banks in the spring when it is swollen with ice and melting snow.
Comes and goes.
Okay. Comes and goes. Thank you. Interesting stuff. In translation. That's the fun we got to go through. Verse 18. The caravans that travel beside them turn away. Verse 18. Oh, 17. Sorry. 17. In the dry season they vanish. When it is hot, they are consumed out of their place. The caravans that travel beside them turn away. They go up into the waste and perish. The caravans of Tamar looked. The companies of Sheba waited for them. Mine is starting to go right over some of this stuff. Verse 20. They were distressed because they were confident. They came there and were confounded.
Okay.
All right.
If your desire is to go to a brook of water, because you want to get refreshed when you
Right.
but you find that it's dried up. You're not getting what you need from it. You're not getting it
Correct.
refreshing.
Yeah.
And he's saying, my friends are doing the same for me. You're coming deceitfully. You came, you were here silent for 7 days, but when you first speak your words, he's not being comforted. You're not refreshing my soul from what I really need. That's what I'm at.
Very good. I would agree. Thank you for some of that, because the way they're wording it is too poetic for me. It's outdated. For now you are nothing. You see a terror and are afraid. Did I say give to me, or offer a present for me from your substance, or deliver me from the adversary's hand, or redeem me from the hand of the oppressors? Teach me, and I will hold my peace. Cause me to understand my error. How forcible are words of uprightness? But your reproof, what does it reprove? See? He's feeling reproved.
It's like they're arguing.
Yeah. Verse 26, do you intend to reprove words, since the speeches of one who is desperate are as wind? 27, yes, you would even cast lots for the fatherless and make merchandise of your friends. Now therefore, be pleased to look at me, for surely I will not lie to your face. Please return. Let there be no injustice. Yes, return again. My cause is righteous. Is there injustice on my tongue? Can't my taste discern mischievous things? I'm getting lost with the way he's talking. I'm sorry.
I understand because mine's a little more
you got the
simpler.
NLT. It's probably a little
Mine's
easier.
simpler, and pretty much he's saying, stop falsely accusing me of stuff. Stop assuming that I've sinned. Like he's trying to let them know, especially in the last verse. He's saying, "Why do you think I'm lying to you?" Like basically Eliphaz in the beginning when we started the book of Job, Eliphaz right away thinks he's guilty, thinks he's sinning. There's no basically. We go, even in the secular world, we go by you are innocent before proven guilty. Job hasn't been proven guilty, but yet Eliphaz is already jumping to conclusions saying, you're guilty, you sinned, this is why this is happening. That's why Job's upset. It's like, you're supposed to be my butt. Like, you're attacking me, you're falsely accusing me, all this stuff, just because our human nature is to assume someone's sinned when something bad happens to them. And that's, I'm guessing Job is frustrated. Ticked off right now.
Feels like he's coming from river spirit. In verse 30, I mean, just the last one says, and not my taste discern for your things. And I think that's exactly how he's reading Eliphaz's words. You're not coming to right. You have another intention behind your heart that you're speaking to me these things. So I think again, it's crazy because some of Eliphaz's words are legit.
Yeah.
You know, we can get stuff from it. But it's a time and place. That's what I'm getting. It's you said I think last time, apples of gold words, 50 spoken words are like apple of gold and that into silver. You gotta know when and how to say something. And I think that's what
And let me just be clear real quick. This is not a simple Job, hey, you got a false teaching, you're teaching. This is Job just got his life ripped out from underneath him. His family, everything. Okay, it's because some people are going to take this like, oh, you see, you can't tell somebody they're wrong if they're teaching something that's not right. That's not what this is. This is not talking about that. This is talking about how to analyze a person's literal situation. We had a sister in our group who admitted to us she had to back out from the group. She was getting easily offended, but she ended up confessing to us she's going through a lot of stuff. She's very emotional right now. That makes sense now. It makes sense that she can't handle the straightforwardness of the group at this time because she's going through things that we didn't know about. So, so that makes a difference. And somebody's telling us certain things that's going on in their family, where they got a family that passed away or someone in the hospital or something's going on. It'll make a difference in our approach and our, what we say around that person. Rightfully so.
For me, this is a lesson. Don't jump to conclusions. Because this is what Eliphaz did. He saw all these bad things happen to Job. Already he's saying you sin. See what happens to you because
so you're saying verse 5 was him saying that Job.
Well, no, what I'm saying is when Eliphaz started talking like a couple chapters earlier, he literally said to Job, this is happening to you because you sinned. So right before even knowing anything, Eliphaz, just because bad stuff's happening to Job like crazy, he's already jumping to conclusions.
first chapter.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I take away from this. Don't jump to conclusions. Just because someone's having a hard time doesn't mean that they've sinned or something. It could be Yahuwah is just testing them.
He's getting that because in chapter 4 of this in this book, chapter 4 verses 6 to 9, this is where it says, "Your fear, your confidence, your hope, your upright is not your fear, your confidence, your hope, and the uprightness of your ways. Remember, I pray you, who's perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity sow wickedness reap the same." It's like you reap what you sow. Because remember, chapter 4 and 5 all continue. We broke it because we stopped, but so it's still coming from the same, time he's talking with that with his opening statement like that.
It's kind of like a general belief by us humans. Someone goes through something, oh, they must have sinned, they must have done something wrong to deserve that. Like That's what I get from Eliphaz. He's just kind of like thinking in his own way of thinking. Oh, Job must have sinned because the righteous don't go through that, which is a lie. I mean, you can look all over the Old Testament. Righteous people go through a lot of bad stuff. Yahuwah doesn't give us a scot-free life just because we're upright. So actually, what Eliphaz is saying is kind of a lie in those verses you just read. It's kind of a half-truth.
Yeah, because you do reap what you sow, but it's not always right.
I like the next version of verse 14. I get it better now.
In what chapter?
Chapter 6. Sorry, I didn't mean to switch.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We
Verse 14. To the one in despair, kindness should come from his friend, even if he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. That's a sincere brother. This isn't a hypocrite brother. This is a real brother of the fellowship who is really going through some drama, going through some stuff right now that might even cause him to start losing faith. We should be kind to him. We should offer our, to help him, to be there for him. Can I bring you something? Can I? Yeah. What do you want me to do, brother? You want me? Want to go for a ride? Take you to the beach? I mean, I'll pay for a massage, get you a facial, and I'll hook you up. Something. You know what I mean? That's love. You know what I mean? Because when you're overtaken by depression, anxiety, and all this wicked stuff, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going off and you're whoring after, foreign women and fornicating and doing stuff, and then you're reaping what you sow. It's a tragedy happens, then you fall into depression, and then the depression starts causing you to go into all this other stuff. That's when brothers and sisters need to step in and love on a brother, because it's not like they were in sin first and then just caused more trouble upon themselves. They were doing it. They were right with the fellowship. They were doing things right. According to our witness, brother was consistently in the fellowship. He's calling. He's doing great. He's encouraging people. He's on fire. And then boom, something happened in his life. And if we ignore that and say, just let that person be, woe unto us, man, because we're not being good friends. Go ahead, Kristen.
Yes, because in times like that, when we feel like Yah's left us and it's quiet and we're suffering, it's easy to question whether or not it's okay to seek, comfort from our brothers and sisters, because, it's the question, is it that we deserve to go through this? Is this how it's supposed to be? Is this, what is the full purpose behind this? And that's very difficult. So I couldn't agree more about how it's important to reach out and, because not everybody knows how to use their voice, or if it's okay. And love is truly the greatest thing that we could give each other.
Amen. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we got there already, but it almost sounded like the friends, from my remembrance of this story, the friends couldn't pinpoint a sin that Job committed. They were hypothesizing. Maybe maybe you did something wrong. And I don't know if we read it already or if it's coming, but
they're just accusing him. They're falsely accusing him.
But it's not accusing. It's almost like they don't know. They're guessing. So that's what I'm saying is the difference between a person like Job and a wicked person who's in the fellowship. Somebody who we all know is sinning and rebellious and stubborn, and then they reap what they sow. They get more consequences above that. On that person, I'm like, bro, you reaping what you sow. You need to stop that. Just stop it. Versus a good brother, like, for example, something happens to Brother Doug. Brother Doug's been doing great. There's nothing I can hold on Doug right now. The group isn't addressing Doug in a particular, wicked sin or anything. And some tragic happens to him and causes him to go into depression. We need to step up and help him out. So there is a difference. You got the rebellious one. Sometimes you got to let them suffer. and let them suffer in the punishment that they're going through, because they got themselves into that mess. You know what I mean? But for the brother who's been doing right, we need to, that's kind of what I've been getting. All right, how much time we got? You got to say something, brother Doug?
Yeah, I was gonna say
3 minutes.
I disagree about the accusing thing. I think Eliphaz is accusing him. He might not be saying that, oh, you sinned in this way. He's still saying that he sinned.
Yeah.
He's still accusing him. And it's kind of interesting. What is Satan called? The accuser of the brethren. Wonder who's behind Eliphaz right now, like attacking Job. That kind of, because, you know, we thought it was Satan a couple chapters ago, that spirit. So maybe Satan's pushing this guy to try to attack Job and try to make Job feel that he has sinned, and, you know, possibly trying to get him down. I don't know, that just came to my mind. Because he'll do that. He'll use brothers and sisters against one another. Even if we haven't sinned, Satan loves, you know, pulling people apart that are in the faith. He loves putting brother against one another, sister and sister against one another. A divided kingdom can't stand. I think Abraham Lincoln said that. Actually, Yahusha said that first. Abraham Lincoln took it from him. But yeah.
All right.
All right, you gonna move on?
And then,
Yeah. I'm gonna end this. That was chapter 6.
Mhm.
That was chapter 6. And then come back.